Good morning, everyone. I hope you are well today. Thank you for joining me for the Business Wealth Show. I appreciate you coming on. This is Thursday as we are recording this live, and that means that it is Strategic Chats Day. What is Strategic Chats? Strategic Chats is my open Q&A, my Ask Me Anything session that you are able to ask any questions that you may have about your business or indeed about mine. So please do feel free to ask in the comments and I will answer those questions. A little bit about me is that my name is Annette Ferguson. For those of you that do not know, I am a chartered accountant, certified profit first professional and financial strategist. And I help business owners take home lots more money from their business for them and their families to enjoy. I've been running my business 12 years this year. And so I also want to let you know that I geek out on digital marketing, online marketing, all that kind of stuff. So any questions around any of that is also completely fine as well. I run a team and my team are all remote. Even pre-COVID, we operated a remote workforce. So again, any questions around that, and I'm happily able to answer those as well. I'm very much an owner operator of my business. So my hands are in all the parts. And I, at one point was building my own websites and all those things. So I'm happy to answer any questions about the business journey, any questions about any area of business. In reality, we deal with hundreds of clients and see businesses across all sectors in all areas. And so I can happily answer any questions on that. But this session is entirely driven by the questions that you ask. So do make sure that you ask any questions that you have in the comments. That is what Strategic Chats is all about. It is all about me showing up to support you in the questions that you have around your business as well. So if no one asks any questions, it will be a pretty boring session. So do make sure that you ask. Good morning, Eloisa. Lovely to see you here. It is lovely to have you on as always, as it is for everyone who is tuning in and watching. So thank you for joining me. Great. So we've got questions. Oh, the box is like over my face. I'm just going to have to peer across it. Question from Kate Markland. Annette, I would love to ask you a few questions. Do you have training on how to perform a daily cash flow forecast when using the Profit First system and have multiple bank accounts? If clients are paying for services in January that will be delivered in February and there is a 30-day refund clause, should that money sit in a separate account until the 30 days has passed? Great question. And finally, silly one, how do you blur your background on the videos? I would love to achieve the same. I'm actually going to answer these questions in reverse order. I think that's going to be the best one. And I'm going to put the questions down because otherwise you can't see me and what she's talking about with the background. Well, the background is blurred because of the camera that I use. I use a mirrorless SLR camera to record. And the one I have is a Sony Alpha 5100. It is a camera that I already had in the house. I don't even know if they still make that camera. It is a few years old, this camera that I have. But that is how the background is blurred. It is because I am using a mirrorless SLR as a webcam and not a traditional webcam. So that is how that is achieved. Great question. Since I set this camera up as my webcam, pretty much every single person I get on a call with has asked about it. All my clients, every single sales call that I've got on, and many people in live. So a great question there from Kate. Many people are picking up on that on the webcam and how that's working. So I love that you asked that. Now, your second question around if a client is paying for services in January that will be delivered in February and there is a 30-day refund clause, should the money sit in a separate bank account until the 30 days has passed? Great question. So what I would do with this is I would look at the percentage refund rate that you've had in the past and use that as a basis for setting cash aside. And I would set money into a separate account based on the historic refund rate that you have had. Now, if you're new to business and you don't have a historic refund rate, you don't know what that is, then it's probably prudent to set at least one or two people's amounts aside so that you can work out what that rhythm is for you and typically how many people then request it. But let's say typically you have a 25% refund rate. You've got 4 clients booked in. I would put one of the clients worth 25% of the amount that you've received into a separate bucket, into a refunds bucket perhaps, and then release it after those 30 days. So I might always have a rolling amount sitting in there depending on the stages that you are with your clients. That's probably the way I would work it. You might want to just keep a balance in there. You know, if you typically have 4 clients a month, you might just want to keep 25% of your revenue as a kind of emergency refund fund in a separate account, just for your own kind of own protection, own sanity around that. That might be a way to do it as well. So great question. And then the first question that you asked, do you have training on how to perform a daily cash flow forecast when using the Profit First system and having multiple bank accounts? Well, in terms of a cash flow forecast, that is essentially what the profit plan is. It is a forward-looking cash forecast. Now, the profit plan is done on a monthly basis, but there is nothing to stop you actually doing that at the daily granularity level. So if you have not attended any profit plan training, which is what we do during the Wealth Lab, building your implementable profit plan, and you want to understand about that kind of cash flow forecasting using Profit First, that is in part what the profit plan is all about. So if you are interested in our next Wealth Lab, building your implementable profit plan, that happens next month. So if you are interested in that, please do send me or one of my team a DM just saying, just say profit plan in the DM, and we'll make sure you get registered onto the next one. Our registration link page is not up and running yet, so I can't send you there, but just pop us a DM and say, I want to be involved in the next profit plan session, and we'll make sure that we add you to the list so that when registration is opened, you are first on the list with that. But that is essentially what the profit plan method is. It is about looking at cash flow forecasting. I do it monthly within the profit plan, but we also have clients who do it as a daily do it daily as well, and can run and therefore run their Profit First percentages through that as well. So I hope that helps, Kate. I don't have a pre-recorded training or anything like that, but we do run it, of course, live during the Wealth Lab. So that is that. And then let's have a look. We also have a question here from Annie Bailey. Quick question. Is the idea of allocating the percentages to allocate 100% of all the money? Yes, I realized it would zero out the balance on my account. We've been doing it for a few months since my husband is out of work and I need to make my business work financially. I'm not comfortable emptying the account though. Other than that, I'm happy with my progress so far. Absolutely, Annie. The purpose is to empty the account. And here is the reason. Because what you want to do is you want to have one bank account where the income comes in and nothing else happens in that account. The ideal setup is that you have your operating expenses account as a separate bank account. So the income comes in and it gets allocated to the other bank accounts. So nothing comes out of that income account. So that income account being at zero, there's no direct debits or anything coming out of that account. What you're doing is you're actually putting money into the operating expenses account. For example, for the direct debits to come out, you're putting it into owner's pay so you can take it out. You're putting it into profit to build that up and eventually take that out. And you're putting it into tax to build that up and pay HMRC at some point. So in emptying out the income account, it has no effect really on anything. Now, if you are not happy with having that completely empty, what I would actually suggest is that you also have a vault account. This is a kind of step on, an iteration on, is to have basically a vault account, which is an emergency savings account within your business. I would recommend to have that, and maybe that's what you do instead of leaving money in the income account. Maybe you have 1% or 2% of your revenue going into a vault account, an emergency fund, so you have something there as a backup. That might help in the feeling that you don't want to empty everything out the income account and distribute it completely. So give that a go, Annie. I think that might help with you there. Let's have a look. Steve is saying, I'm at the end of the tether with my existing accountant, shopping around at the moment for a replacement, and I'm starting to realize what a vast difference in prices there are. Do you have any tips or things to look out for? Well, yes, absolutely, Steve. So the very first thing is making sure your accountant is qualified. Accountant is not a protected word. That means that anyone can call themselves an accountant, whether or not they have looked at tax legislation ever in their lives, whether or not they even own a calculator, they can call themselves an accountant. And so you really need to make sure that your accountant is qualified. The best qualification, and this is not just me saying it, it is worldly recognized. The best qualification for UK accountants is a chartered accountant. They can be certified or qualified rather by the Institute of Scotland or the Institute of England and Wales. They are the same qualification to all intents and purposes, different qualifying bodies, but they are equally recognized as the top qualification for accountants. So that is the first thing, is to make sure your accountant is a chartered accountant. Make sure they are fully qualified, because as a chartered accountant, not only do they have to be fully qualified, they have to keep up to date with continuing professional development, and they have to be insured, and they also have to stick to a code of ethics. So those things are incredibly important when it comes to looking at any professional. After all, we wouldn't go and see a heart surgeon that was not highly qualified. We would make sure that they had the appropriate qualifications. So please, please make sure that you do that with your accountant as well. Make sure that the person who is helping you and supporting you with your finances, your money and HMRC is actually qualified to do so. After that, it really depends as well on the service level you're looking for. So some accounting firms, all they will do is they will take the numbers that you have put in a spreadsheet or you have put in Xero, and they'll just do the accounts and submit essentially what you've pre-prepared. Others will look through things. They will advise you on an ongoing basis. You will have, as part of your service level agreement, regular monthly calls and those kinds of things. That is more the level of the kind of stuff that we do with clients. So clients get monthly calls, clients get profit plans built out for them. We dig into areas like gross profit margins and, areas that we see might be a little bit out of whack. We deal with all that with our clients, whereas many, many accounting firms will not do that. That will not be part of what they do. They might say that they are business advisors, but actually when you dig and say, well, will you look at this with me? Will you look at this with me? The answer will usually be, no, that's not part of what we do. That's for you to do. So making sure that you understand what levels of service they are actually going to be providing you is really important as well, because that will, of course, vary the costs too, in terms of how much or how little they're actually going to be involved in your business and in helping and supporting you to do that. Do they look at cash flow? Most don't in reality. We certainly do, but most don't. So making sure that you understand that. And then, of course, if it's important to you, are they Profit First certified? Most accounting firms in the UK have never heard of Profit First, let alone certified in it. We have, there's a couple of new ones that are just going through certification at the moment. We've been Profit First certified for 6 years now. So we've seen all sorts in terms of businesses running Profit First in their business across all sectors. So again, if that is important to you, that is something to make sure that you understand and look at as well. So Steve, I hope that helps in terms of giving you some guidance as to the conversations that you might want to have with an accountant, what to look out for with an accountant. And of course, like anything, look at their social reviews, look at their reviews on Facebook and LinkedIn and Google to make sure that, people independently are saying the right things, the things that resonate with you about them as well. So that would be my suggestion. in terms of looking out for things. Good. Do we have any other questions? Let me have a look. This is Strategic Chats that you have tuned into. So thank you for joining me for the Business Wealth Show today. As I said, our topic today is Strategic Chats. That means it is an open Q&A session. You can ask any questions that you may have about your business. Please do come and ask those. This is what this session is for. I have Eloisa on my team popping in some of the questions that we have had throughout the week from people. So please do make sure that if you have any questions as well, you ask them in the comments. That is entirely what this session is about. It is for you. It is my open Ask Me Anything, Q&A, whatever you want to call it session. And it is completely here for you, for me to answer the questions that you are asking. You are welcome. So do make sure that if you have any questions, you do ask them. I think I've picked up all the ones that we have in so far. So I had the 3 from Kate, I had Annie's, and we've done Steve's as well. I'm going to take a drink of my tea just in case anybody's fingers are quickly typing away whilst we are on. And whilst we are here, if you do enjoy the Business Wealth Show, if you enjoy my sessions, there are some other places that you can listen and other things that I would love for you to do. So first off, we have Uncover Wealth Radio. That is my podcast. We are putting out 3 to 4 episodes a week of the podcast. So make sure you look us up in your podcast app, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Do come over and type Uncover Wealth Radio and make sure you subscribe and have a good old binge listen as well. We also have a YouTube channel. Again, we have lots of great content going out there. I think we have maybe 2 videos a week going out on the YouTube channel. The shortcut for that is AnnetteFergs.tv. So again, you can tune in there. Make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell so that you know when I am live. When I upload something, and you can tune in and watch that. And also, as of next week, I'm going to be hosting a regular room on Clubhouse at midday. So at 12 noon UK time, I'm going to have my regular Clubhouse room, and my Clubhouse handle is Annette Fergs. So again, make sure you come and follow, make sure you hit the bell and select always so that you know when I am live with that as well. So those are other ways you can connect with me, with what I share, and continue the learning and the profit strategies that we have to share with you and to support you with. So do make sure, there we go. I can see that Eloisa has put in, I think it's Eloise that says Facebook user at my end, but has put in the comments there the link to the Apple Podcasts link to the podcast in there. Of course, if you're on other podcast players, you will be able to find it as well, and you can put Uncover Wealth Radio into the search bar. So there are many other ways to also connect with me, with my content, to learn, to get those goodies to implement, to increase your profitability in your business. Because at the end of the day, that is what we are about here, is increasing your profit, increasing your take home, so that you can live the life that you want to live. So thank you everyone who's tuning in and joining me. I don't think we have any more questions coming through, so I'm going to sign off for the day, but thank you for tuning in. I am back again tomorrow for the Business Wealth Show, same time, same place, 7:30 a.m. I look forward to seeing you all there. Make sure you mark it in your diaries and come and join me. Take care, everyone.